Hi Cascade artists. In this video I am going to teach you how to mix realistic skin tones in acrylic paint using only the primary colors plus maybe some white. For this activity, please use one of your small pieces of canvas paper. I already have the 3 primary colors ready on my palette. No matter what human skin tone you're mixing, you will need all 3 primary colors. I recommend starting with some yellow and then adding a little bit of red to your yellow to turn it into orange. Complementary hues, opposites on the color wheel, combine to create a neutral. Orange's complementary color is blue. So to neutralize this orange and make it closer to a brown, I will add just a small amount of blue to my orange. Okay, this is definitely a more brownish, lower intensity orange. However, this is looking a little too green for a realistic human skin tone. To neutralize the green, I add green's complementary hue, the color opposite on the color wheel, which is red. Just a little bit more red will neutralize the green towards brown. Okay, I've got quite a nice orangish brown here. One way that you can test if a skin color is a realistic human skin tone is to hold it next to your skin or even paint a little on. And it's still looking a little orange. So I want to add more blue to neutralize the orange. And then if it looks too green, add more red to neutralize the green. So we're using the same 3 colors, but what we're doing is adjusting the ratio or proportion of those colors to each other until we get just the right amount. So this is darker than my skin tone. However, this is a perfectly realistic human skin tone. So I am going to go ahead and paint a swatch on my small piece of canvas paper. Students are required to mix at least 10 different realistic skin tones. You don't have to arrange them in any special pattern or order, as long as you mix 10 distinct, unique skin tones. Now, even people who have equally dark or equally pale skin might have slightly different undertones. Some skin tones have more red or pink, some are slightly more yellow or golden, and some skin tones have slightly more blue. So without making this any darker or lighter, let's try changing the undertone. I'm going to bring in just a little bit more red. This is another realistic flesh tone that is different from the first one. I'm going to go ahead and paint a swatch on my canvas paper. So you can see this one is slightly more yellow or golden. This one is slightly more red toned. Now let's see what happens if I add a little bit more blue to the color I've already mixed. So this has a cooler undertone because it has more blue. But again, this is a realistic skin tone. Now, if you want to mix a skin tone darker than the ones that we've already mixed, you don't have to add black. You can darken this by adding more blue, although you will also need to balance it out with small amounts of red and yellow. All right, so here I have mixed a really deep, dark, neutral hue that we might use to paint the shadows on a very dark skin tone. Let's experiment with adding a little bit of white to make some paler, lighter skin tones. So with just a small amount of white on my brush, I can stir that in with one of the skin tones I've already mixed to make a lighter value version of the same hue. This is pretty close to my skin tone. Yep, I could almost wear that one as a makeup. Now I'll try one that's similar in value but is just slightly more golden in tone, just by adding a little yellow to the color I just had. I think I'll make an even paler version of this same hue just by adding more white. And I think I'll make a paler version of this slightly more rosy or pink. You can also mix a skin tone that is in between 2 of the other skin tones you mixed, just by taking some from one and some from another, and stirring them together to make their own unique hue. I have already painted 13 different skin tone swatches. As long as you do at least 10, that's a good amount of practice before you start painting your portrait of a person. If you end up with extra room on your paper, that is fine because you might create different skin tones while you're working on your next assignment that you might choose to add to your collection. Happy color mixing!